Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam dan bahagia. Let me introduce myself. My name is Candra-summary. Just call me Chandra. Today I'm going to discuss 6 tips of public speaking for beginner. And then let me start my discussion, okay? The first tips of public speaking for beginner is don't ramble and don't get long-winded. I think that avoid both of rambling and getting long-winded are very important. I ever made a mistake that related of rambling and getting long-winded. The result of my mistake is my audience didn't catch up the points, even everything that I said before. I think that was very bad. I promise I will not do the same mistake in my next presentation, even my future. And the way to fix or to overcome the problem is try to organize what you want to say. Start from the introduction, body, and also the conclusion. Make sure that you have a clear main idea and also transition statement, and then try to make a concise message. Now moving on to the next tips. The second tips is don't create a bad eye contact. Yes, eye contact is very important for me. As a public speaker, I do not allow to put my look in the wrong place, such as at the floor and over people's heads. I also do not allow to stare at the ceiling and scan around. To be honest, I don't have an experience that relates with eye contact. I just want to give the way to finish or to handle if you have a bad eye contact. Yes, the way is look directly into person's eye long enough to finish thought. Yes, one thought, one look. The third tips is don't clutter your notes with too many details or everything that you want to say during your presentation. It is very important for me because when I speak in front of my audience and I do this mistake, of course my audience will not put their focus on me. To be honest, I never do this mistake, but I ever joined my friend's presentation, and she made slides of PowerPoint that full of text. You can guess it, right? The audience didn't put their focus on her or her PowerPoint. And the most boring moment is she just read her PowerPoint. Here are several tips to fix or to handle this problem. The first is pare down your notes. The second is make a simplified notes. The third is make a little glossary of item on your PowerPoint. The last is create and then develop conversational style, something like two-way communication or two-way talk. Now moving on to the fourth tips. The fourth tips is don't make complex slides that full of animation and text. It is very important for me because my audience are very hard to follow what's going on my slide. I ever had a presentation where my teacher complained to me because my slides are full of animation and text. Well, through this mistake, I learned something new that made me be better than previous. Yups, here is the tips to fix or to handle this problem. Try to make a simple and nice slides of your PowerPoint presentation so that everything that you want to say can be delivered effectively. Now moving on to the fifth tips. The fifth tips is don't fidget. Yups, don't fidget with your hands and your feet. Don't face back and forth endlessly. I think that's very important for me because fidget will make my audience lose their interest on me. To be honest, I don't have an experience that relates to this problem, and I just want to give the tips to handle or to fix this problem. And the tips is try to develop, try to train your nice confidence, gesture, and posture. Now moving on to the last tips. The last tips is don't speak too softly and use a lot of fillers. I think those are very important because when I'm speaking before my audience and I speak too softly and use a lot of fillers, my audience will not interest on me. I ever had a short presentation. Unfortunately, I was so nervous, and to cover my nerves, I used a lot of fillers. The result is my audience disappointed with my presentation. That made me so sad. And the tips to handle or to fix this problem is speak loud with confidence, emphasize your keyword with the sound of your voice, and the last is pause after you share your keyword. That's cover my discussion for today. Hopefully this video is useful for you. Thank you. Salam.